The hang clean is an incredibly technical lift. Ebel and Reiser 2002 state that the hang clean is an explosive weightlifting movement that teaches and enables an athlete to develop power in the hips. The hang clean possesses so many different key aspects that show power in its purest form. To properly perform the hang clean, an athlete needs to be able to use their lower body powerfully. According to Ronai and Cybeck 2016, the hang clean is a total body, multiple joint strength and power development exercise. Furthermore, this lift is not one that can be taught in one simple session, but rather it requires several lead-in exercises that help teach the main aspects of the lift. Unlike many other lifts, the hang clean is a total body movement that requires several different movements. Johnson, 1982, states that the coach must develop the expertise necessary to teach this movement. It is critical that the coach in charge of teaching this movement to their athletes has a firm understanding of the different aspects and how to best instruct their athletes on how to perform the hang clean with the proper technique. Although it is important to remember that all athletes can learn this movement. The muscles that are used in the hang clean range from the upper to the lower body. According to Ronai and Cybeck 2016, the primary muscles activated are the gluteus maximus, hamstrings, quadriceps, erector spinae, gastrocnemius, trapezius, latissimus dorsi, and deltoids. The first step in properly performing the hang clean is to start with the proper foot positioning. According to Graham 2002, stand with feet hip to shoulder width apart and pointing forward or just slightly outward. The athlete must put their body in the best possible position from the beginning to perform this complex total body movement with the proper technique. If the athlete does not start with the proper foot positioning, it could lead to them performing the hang clean with the improper form, which will increase the chance at an injury. The feet positioning, while seemingly a small and easy step, is vital so that they can perform all of the lead-in movements as well as the full hang clean once they have the proper technique. The next step is to properly position the athlete's hands onto the barbell. According to Graham 2002, the athlete should squat and grasp the barbell with the shoulder width or slightly wider pronated hand position using a closed or hook grip. While there is an option on what grip to use, it is truly dependent on the athlete. Different athletes prefer either a hook or a closed grip. A hook grip is more prevalent with more experienced and advanced lifters, while a closed grip is the basic lifting grip that the athletes start out learning. As long as the hands are positioned correctly, it does not matter what grip they use as long as they are gripping the bar with the proper technique. After this, the athlete should assume the starting position. They must be able to get into the starting position safely without injuring the lumbar. This requires the athlete to properly deadlift the weight if starting from the ground. The starting position is also important because the athlete will use it to perform a variety of different exercises before advancing to the hang clean. According to Graham 2002, the athlete should start with their arms outside the knees, elbows extending and pointing outward. They should stand so the barbell is over the balls of the feet and close to the shins, and with the back rigid and flat or slightly arched. Position the head up or slightly hyperextended. Squeeze together the shoulder blades. Relax the trapezius and upper back into a state of slight stretch. Slowly lift the barbell along the shins and knees until standing erect with the bar resting slightly above or below the knees. Getting into the proper position to perform the hang clean is vital. If positioned incorrectly, the athlete runs the risk of improperly performing the clean, or worse, injuring themselves. It is important to critique the technique harshly because of the risk that improperly performing the exercise provides. The athlete should now start to perform what is described as lead-in exercises towards the proper hang clean. By performing these exercises, it allows the athlete to learn the different steps of the total body hang clean movement. Furthermore, it provides for muscle memory that will provide them the best opportunity in completing the hang clean with the proper technique. The first lead-in exercise is the Romanian deadlift, otherwise described as the RDL. According to Ebel and Reiser 2002, The RDL is a strengthening exercise that first introduces the initiation of movement by the hamstrings and the hips. The starting position for the RDL will be the same as the starting position earlier described for the hang clean. Furthermore, the hand positioning and the grip will also mirror that of the hang clean. According to Ebel and Reiser 2002, to initiate the movement, or RDL, the athlete pushes back the hips and buttocks, gluteal region, and the bar descends. It is important not to use the upper body in this movement. Instead, the athlete should feel the tension in their hips and gluteal region. Furthermore, Ebel and Reiser 2002 state that the angle of the knees remains constant, as does the shoulder position directly over the toes, while the head remains in a neutral position. During this movement, the athlete should feel tension within their biceps femoris, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus. Ebel and Reiser 2002 state that the hamstring should be stretched or preloaded, which enables them to generate maximal force. This allows the athlete to begin to train their body to perform the hang clean with the proper form, force, and power. The next step in the hang clean progression is referred to as the first pull, the jump shrug, or the RDL shrug. Once again, both the starting position, hand position, and grip are the same as the ones depicted for the hang clean. According to Ebel and Reiser 2002, this movement develops explosive power in the hips and focuses on the initiation of power. It is important to focus on the athlete's hips during this movement. According to Ebel and Reiser 2002, the glutes and hamstrings contract concentrically with maximal force, causing the hips to appear as if they are going to snap violently to and through the bar. The athlete should also not bend their arms as the bar is rising. Instead, they should solely focus on the path of the bar as it relates to their body, as well as the power generated from their lower body. Ebel and Reiser 2002 go on to state that after releasing the hips, transferring the weight from the heels to the toes, and shrugging the shoulders, the athlete is in a fully extended position. After this, the hang clean developmental exercise is complete. Once they have properly completed this with the correct technique, they are ready to move on to the next phase of the hang clean. The next phase of the hang clean is the transition phase exercise. This is the part between the RDL shrug and the RDL high pull. During this phase, it is important to maintain a flat back with the proper chest alignment. According to Ronai and Siebeck 2016, after the bar passes the knees, thrust the hips forward and slightly rebend the knees. In doing this, the athlete will prepare themselves for the RDL high pull. As previously mentioned, the next step is the RDL high pull, or second pull. Once the previous RDL shrug has been completed with the proper technique, the athlete should then be allowed to advance to this phase. While the two are very similar, they differ in the final step. In the RDL shrug, the athlete is not supposed to bend their elbows. While in the RDL high pull, according to Ebel and Reiser 2002, the elbows bend, allowing the bar to travel high and tight to the body. The elbows follow the frontal plane, pointing out to the sides of the body. Furthermore, Ebel and Reiser 2002 go on to say that the upward movement of the bar should be generated from the hips while not relying on a contribution from the upper body. The lower body is essential in the hang clean as it is what provides the power that is necessary to move the weight of the bar. While in the video it may appear as if the upper body is assisting in this, if performed properly, the upper body should serve as more of a guide while the lower body provides the power and strength. According to Graham 2002, the powerful upward acceleration from the second pull will result in an erect torso and head. When performing this movement, it is not uncommon for the feet to rise from the floor. The power generated from the lower body is similar to that of a vertical jump, and if performed powerfully, the athlete may rise from the floor. Johnson, 1982, states that the athlete should accelerate the bar as much as possible in this movement, thus creating a tremendous amount of true power. In this movement, the athlete, according to Johnson, 1982, drives in and up with his hips and his upper torso straightens forcefully. At the same time, he extends his legs and raises up high on his toes. This phase is where the most power is generated that allows the athlete to properly and safely perform the hang clean. Ronai and Siebeck 2016 state that the highest rates of force development and power occur during the second pull, which resembles a combined jumping and shrugging motion. While this movement is incredibly important, it is even more vital that the athletes understand the purpose of the introductory movements towards the hang clean. They should, in the end, be able to perform all of them together to properly and safely perform the hang clean. Furthermore, according to Ebel and Reiser 2002, it is important to understand that even though we teach the partial pulls separately, when they are put together, the summation of forces results in a continuous movement from start to finish. The final step in performing the hang clean with the proper technique is to put all of the previous pulls together and catch the bar. This step is referred to as the catch. According to Graham, 2002, after the lower body has fully extended and the bar reaches near maximal height, pull the body under the bar by rotating the arms and hands around and then under the bar. Furthermore, Ronoy and Siebeck, 2016, state that once the hips, knees, and ankles have achieved maximal triple extension, the body is pulled under the bar by the elbows bending and the hips and knees flexing simultaneously. During the lifting portion of the hang clean, the hip and knee joint undergo extension while the shoulder and elbow joint experience flexion, and the ankle joint experiences plantar flexion. It is essential that the athlete can properly perform the pulls in summation and then catch the bar in either a half squat to full squat position, depending upon the weight. It is important to note that the higher the weight, the lower the athlete may have to squat to catch the bar properly. Furthermore, Graham 2002 states that the bars should be caught at the clavicles and anterior deltoids with the head facing forward, neck neutral, feet flat on the floor pointing straight ahead or slightly outward, body weight over the front half of the foot with the heels in contact with the floor, knees and hips flexed to a half squat position to absorb the impact of the weight, back flat, upper arms parallel to the floor, elbows fully flexed, and the wrists extended. The athlete's arms should be parallel to the floor and the bars should rest along their clavicle and the tips of their fingers. It is vital that the athlete can properly catch the barbell, as improperly catching the barbell may provide for an increased risk in a variety of different injuries ranging from the upper body to the lower body. It may also assist the athlete in performing this movement if the coach can relate it to other movements such as the front squat. The hang clean is an incredibly unique lift that provides the athlete the opportunity to develop an immense amount of power. Although the technique required can be incredibly complex, through this video we have explained what other movements combine in summation to create the hang clean. Furthermore, it is important to remember the variety of movements that are required of the body to properly complete this lift. This lift requires maximal triple extension. Overall, while this lift is very technical, the proper form can be achieved through practice, coaching, and mastery of developmental exercises. This can help assist athletes both on and off the field. The power can be directly transferable to an athletic career, while it can also assist in day-to-day activities. It is important to remember that with the proper technique, the hang clean can help improve everyone's overall health.